that one in there for a strike. Henschel thought it might have been a touch high. I may tend to agree, but
I also kind of got the feeling from that as well. As I said before, this is umpire strike zone. Will change throughout this entire year.
as they feel it out 0-2, chases one up the ladder for strike three. Couple of punch-outs to start the inning for Lacrone.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a far better start than it was in the Miracle game. Lacrone just needs to keep going, keep that pitch count low, and he's placing his off-speed pitches pretty well so far. Hopefully something to look forward to as this game moves forward.
So that'll bring up Johnny Wendling. The University of Illinois Springfield, another really nice breaking pitch in there for a striking. You're seeing these Oilmen hitters just trying to time up everything. It's coming in slower than they expect and with a lot more movement.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys, I'm sure, are used to fast fastballs and a lot of off-speed pitches, but he's starting out the count with off-speed pitches. You don't see that a lot with pitchers. Mostly pitchers like to set up with the fastball to start out, but Lacrone's a little different. He likes to set out with that curveball we saw first pitch, or maybe even a slider.
It's whatever the pitcher's comfortable with. As Wendling takes a pass at that one, foul ball, 1-2. And again, folks, we do apologize for some minor technical issues at the moment. We are up on JED TV. Facebook is a work in progress, as is Twitter. And we appreciate your patience with us as that one misses. Close, but a real nice take from Wendling. And it certainly looks like the preference on the zone is a little bit on the higher side today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is also a tall umpire, so could be the main reason for that.
Wendling puts a charge into that one over in foul territory, trending over is Steinhilber, and another deposit into the bullpen, foul ball.
Whoever submits these foul balls will get a lot of $1 bills today.
Where do you think I've been all game? I've been going getting
foul
foul
balls for us. Way to give the press box some money, John. Thank you.
He actually brings in a bucket from Goodwill. Just trades them all in.
I stamp on the Northern League logo on them, and I essentially, what's the term?
Defraud?
No, well, that I definitely do that. Forgery? Yeah,
forgery.
I'm a Northern League baseball forger.
That's how you know you've made it, when there's imitation.
Absolutely.
Full count, 2 outs. That one hit hard by Wendling into the right center gap. Norwin under it and brings it in. So Zachary Norwin holds it in. 3 up, 3 down for the Vikings. Tied at 0. We head into the second when we return to Oil City Stadium.
Wait! Let me help! Land of Frost! Premium meat! Delicious! And no byproducts!
Toss it in.
Et moi?
Okay.
Whee!
Make the smart choice. Land of Frost Premium Meat.
We don't go to the office, we build it. This is a truism with Ironworkers Local 395 and the Northwest Indiana Contractors Association. Our goal is to exceed our customers' expectations. We provide a skilled, OSHA-trained, drug-free workforce, as well as many other certifications from our 4-year training program. Every time you hire an ironworker from Local 395, you should feel confident that you are receiving highly trained, highly skilled, and drug-free journeymen and apprentices who take their job and your project seriously. For more information, contact us at 219-763-7900 or ironworkers395.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Happy to have you here at Standard Diamonds Park at Oil City Stadium. Second inning of action underway. Yet to see a hit in this one, as we will see the 5th hitter in the Vikings lineup, who will be the catcher, Damon Brenna.
Brenna came off a 3-hit performance last game. Drove in, I want to say, 2 RBIs, he did not drive in any, but he did score 2 runs for himself.
Runs are runs.
Yeah, runs are runs, for sure.
So for Brenna, a powerful catcher. believe hitting with a Victus bat down there. As he takes a big cut, comes up empty, strike one.
Brennan's been one of the top guys for the Vikings in terms of hitting. As he sees that ball one.
A much different start to this game compared to last night, Charlie.
Indeed.
Haggerty, a lot of walks, put 2 up on the board very quickly, and it was hard to dig out that hole. Eventually the Oilmen did, but not trying to go any deeper tonight.
Speaking of digging out, nice job digging that one out by Johnny Wendling over at third. Nice easy 5-3 for the first out of the inning.
He's been super, super consistent and very helpful to this squad already very early on in this season. Especially yesterday, we saw what he did on the defense and offensive side of things. So looking to really see some improvement and some leadership out of that young fellow over there at third.
That'll bring up Owen Bendis for the Vikings. Says a foul ball. Bendis also one of the better hitters for the Vikings. He sort of slotted himself in that 6 or 5 position in the lineup. And those are the kind of guys you need, to produce. It always talks about the heart of the order, the 3, 4, 5 guys. But to me, I believe the 6 and 7 guys are some of the most important players in that lineup.
Now on foul back, and Bendis, guy who plays his college ball just up the road. John, someone you've probably seen quite a bit this year.
No.
He doesn't have a lot of appearances at PNW.
He has not spent too much time.
Maybe not playing.
We've definitely been in the same vicinity.
One of those guys that when you see him, you recognize the
Yeah,
face.
for sure.
You're like, man, where do I know you from? Playing? And he goes, yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
So 1-2 count. Bendis puts a good charge into it, but was a bit early. Foul ball.
Cool day here at Oil City. A couple players I see already got sweatshirts under their jerseys. I didn't think it was that cool outside.
I would be sweating up a storm if I were in a sweatshirt on my jersey.
It is pretty windy here, but I'm a little surprised. Again, I agree with you with the sweatshirts. Maybe in a couple innings.
Currently 69 degrees here in Whiting. Nice. 7-mile-per-hour winds, 12-mile-per-hour gusts coming out of the north. Feels like 68 degrees. Sunset at 8:22 tonight.
Good and
So
nice.
lights are already on here at Oil City. They'll become a much greater factor in about an hour or so.
I was
Go
just
on.
going to say the lights would look fantastic off the refinery. Instead of swinging
every
a miss right
time
there
you
for
come
Bendis.
every time you're here, Griffin.
I do see the beauty you're talking about though, John. I won't lie.
The industrial backdrop.
To point out, by the way, to aid in my argument, both General John and Seth both agree with me. So maybe you need to fix your attitude.
I need a good look at it today.
Yeah.
And then we'll have to figure
Second
that
time
out.
around. Second time through the
There are
lineup
3 torches on.
for Griffin Winicky.
Griffin's gotten too used to the beautiful natural landscape at IU Bloomington. Welcome back to the industrial world.
Thank you.
Griffin's gotten too used to looking at the roof of a church at Dowling Park over there at Labor's Local 41 Field.
That too.
It's a beautiful field. I just wish they had lights.
It's a fantastic facility, except there's no lights and no press box. So
Yeah.
kind of begs the question, what are we even doing?
As we await the 1-0, and I'm sorry for the chuckle there, but Isaiah White is obviously fighting off some kind of mosquitoes out in left field. He has been violently swinging his glove around in both directions for this whole at bat.
I looked over, and he was still doing it.
He does not like the bugs. I can tell you that right now. As Bergeron's able to locate that slider, 2-1 count now.
Also, he's currently going through his batting motion right now. He's really doing a full workout over there in left field.
He's got to stay ready.
Visualize. Bug is the ball.
I can expect that these Hammond Vikings won't be hitting the ball too much out to left field today, Griffin.
Wow. Okay. After a 14-1 win. where the ball was going to left field plenty of times.
Hey, 14-1. I think you guys had 14 strikeouts the last time you faced us, so it all evens out at the end of the day.
It might change today. We'll have to
The
see.
key word you're looking for there is might.
Yeah.
We got plenty of ball game left.
We do, in fact, have a long game. We thank you for joining us for that. We once again apologize for the technical difficulties. I'm mainly responsible for that.
And it's a beaut of a backwards K. Oilmen coming back to the dugout happy with the chance to hit here in the bottom of the second when we return to Whiting, Indiana.
Common for back patients to have a lot of questions, but at Midwest Orthopedic Specialty Hospital, we ask a lot of questions too. We want to know about their jobs, their hobbies, their lifestyle. Because spinal conditions are oftentimes complex and multifaceted, the best solutions take into account work and lifestyle. The spine is at the basis of everything that we do and who we are. For us, surgery is not the first priority. Finding the least invasive option to give you your life back is.
Who is the IBEW? We're the people who bring the power to your home, the ones who make sure your phone calls and internet keep speeding along. We build things like schools and hospitals. We bring the biggest shows and sporting events to the world, keep America's railroads on the right track, help cities, states, and the federal government work for you. And we proudly build products made in the USA. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, the IBEW.
Whether you are a developer looking for a large-scale electrical contractor or homeowner needing a generator installed, we can help take the guesswork out on finding a professional you can trust. Learn more. Called Certified Electricians today. John Maste, Charlie Schmidgall, Griffin Winicky from the Hammond Vikings in a 0-0 ball game here, heading into the bottom of the second. I can't wait to see who's playing left field for Hammond today.
That is Owen Bendis.
I can't wait to see if Bendis also fights the Bugs.
I'm curious.
I need to know if
keeping
this
an eye
is
on
if
left
this is
field
the.
now.
I want to know because if he doesn't, then the Bugs are operatives for the Vikings, and they're purposely attacking the Oilman players, and I believe that is cheating.
You are uncovering a crazy
Conspiracy.
theory.
Crazy conspiracy.
It is not true.
You
Those
know
Bugs are
what kind
robots.
of people say it's not true? People who know it is.
They know. Emmanuel Scott did a good job of ducking out of the way there. That curveball was going to be right in the ear hole if he didn't hit the deck. Swing and a miss there for strike one. Leckrone looked excellent in that first inning. 3 strikeouts for him.
Yeah, he had a lot of movement on those off-speed pitches. He seems to be kind of introducing those early on in these at-bats. Scott looks at ball 2.
Two 2-1 delivery. Hit hard past the glove of Rainey at third. And Emmanuel Scott has got himself a nice little single. It's the first hit of the game for the Oilmen, and the leadoff man is aboard here in the bottom of the second.
Once again, every team in the Northern League, we're only a couple of games into the season, but so far, Emmanuel Scott has proven to be so reliable and so useful on the offensive side of the ball, and he proves it once again there.
And he's been here before. That's been such a big component of him being so reliable. He's seen this ballpark. It's Caceres, powerful lefty, takes one a little high for ball 1. Put one out earlier this year over between the Powering America and Laborers Local 41 signs in the outfield. That breaking ball just can't quite find it. 2-0.
I want to give a quick note of credit to the grounds crew who came out before the game today. Full 4 or 5-man group of guys who came out, prepped the field. They did a really good job today. Sprayed down the dirt as well. You can start kind of seeing how some places are darker than the other, but that'll even out eventually. But just want to give a shout out to our grounds crew here at Oil City.
Yeah, we were talking about that while setting up the cameras on the side. They were doing a pretty nice job on the field. They were moving pretty quick, too.
Quick 3-0 count for Leckrone. And, I mean, yeah, yesterday we saw only a 2-man crew, and they did a good job as well. Just took them a little longer. Today, 4 guys got in and got it done quickly. as the 3-0 misses for ball 4. Even Caceres thought that one might have been in there, but hey, he'll take it. So that'll bring up yesterday's White Castle player of the game, Troy Vosberg. Vosberg 2 for 4 with a couple RBI yesterday, and get this, the winning pitcher.
Oh.
After coming in and getting the final 2 outs of the 10th inning.
The kitchen sink. He just did it all yesterday.
And they'll
Say
say
he went on that one. Oh, wow. I don't know, Jim. That's my impression on that one.
Tony, that is a reasonable response to have on that bad boy. 0-1 Scott leading off at second. LeCrone able to locate that one for strike 2. Now, Vosberg, this was something I didn't know until talking to Coach Tyler's uncle after the game. Only got 8 at-bats in his JUCO season this year. But he made the most of his 4 opportunities yesterday.
Once again, we talk about this numerous times. We'll say it again. That's the whole point of the Northern League, right? You're getting guys who didn't get too much playing time throughout the season, and they come in, and if anything for them, they got to look at it as a confidence thing, because a lot of guys in that situation could lose their confidence. Hey, I only got 8 at-bats this season. You know, I might as well just give up and go home. I lost my baseball skill. And you saw yesterday, you know, he definitely didn't.
So that one is floated out, and it'll go out of play. And he had done a lot more pitching, and Coach Zunkel had mentioned, I thought he was going to come in here and want to be a pitcher, and Vosberg came up to him and said, hey, you need a right fielder. I can play right. I can go out there and get a ball or two. And he did.
Guys just want to play. That's all what it comes down to.
You want him to jump the last cow high. LeCrone comes set, 1-2 delivery. Swing and a miss. And the check down at first couldn't hang on to the ball. And that one will get away. Costly mistake, being unable to hang on to the ball for Steinhilber. So Scott will advance to third. And by some miracle, Noah Caceres safe at first.
Noah Caceres really should be in the dugout right now. That should have been a double play from the Vikings. And I thought he got him at first, but the umpire did a really good job of seeing that the ball slipped away out of the glove. So good call by the umpire there, good eyes. But tough break for the Vikings.
Tough right there as they have runners on the corners. That was an extremely close play at first.
That was a great throw.
Yeah, I do agree with you guys. I myself thought he might have been out. Good throw by Brenna right there.
It's all about surviving the tag. Ball did not make it all the way through. And that one will be scored as the advance on the E3. Swing and a miss from Groberski. Sporting that number 27.
Someone just booed when our PA guy announced that it was an error. That's crazy.
I have a feeling it might have been his family.
Welcome to the club, Hayden.
Little stoppage on the mound. LeCrone was fixing his hands.
Pitch misses outside. Runner on the move. Throw in time for Caceres. Oh, not in time. It's going to be safe, and the run scores. Difficult situation. The throw from Damon Brenna looked good, but Noah Caceres able to slip in under, and now the Oilmen up 1-0.
That's 2 in a row where I don't know if it's just the angle we're sitting up here, but I thought he was out for sure. I thought he got way too delayed of a run, and I thought it was a great throw down to second.
He must have missed on the swipe of the tag would be my assumption. Skroberski, the Triton College player, swings and misses for the second out of the inning.
That's tough if you're the Vikings, and I'm sure you would agree with me, Griffin, because very much so you should have been out of this inning already a couple of times over.
Yeah, if just those plays, we could get them over. LeCrone's still pitching well out there. End of the inning, or I should say end of the inning, but throughout this inning, 2 strikeouts. That 1 run is going to hurt, though. Some questionable plays. I thought Brenna made 2 great throws on both those plays, but umpires saw it differently.
Pitch gets away from Brenna. And Caceres will advance on the wild pitch to third.
There's a lot of space here at Oil City between the plate and the backstop, which I will, by the way, call myself out. Yesterday, I did say that it was padded. It is not. It's just brick. It's grass, dirt, and then brick. So if you get a fastball off that thing, it could easily go back, but it doesn't there. I just want to paint a correct picture for those of you watching and listening at home.
Look at that. Total transparency.
Not total. Let's not get ridiculous with total transparency.
Some transparency.
There's some transparency.
65% transparency.
Someone is in there for a strike. Josh Williams didn't quite agree with that one. But he's not calling the balls and strikes. So it's a 1-2 count, 2 down, runner on third. Lacrone's offering hits him in a hard spot to get hit. Right in the knee.
I don't know if it went off the knee there, Charlie. It looked more right off the just lower part of the thigh, but off the leg and immediately line drived over to the foul territory. So that one had some extra velocity on that one.
So Williams is able to wear it and walk it off as he goes down to first base. Trooper. So that'll bring up the bottom of the order, Isaiah White.
Fielder number 14, Isaiah White.
A situation with runners on the corners here for the Oilmen. We've already seen it once this inning. It was a delayed double steal that eventually got him the run across the board. Let's see what Zunkel does here now with 2 outs if he's going to move the base path. But also, with that hit by pitch going off of the lead leg, I don't predict too many steals in the near future.
That one is cranked high and deep over at the track, and just before it, actually, it'll be Owen Bendis ending the inning. So the Oilmen take a 1-0 advantage into the third when we return here to Oil City Stadium.
Do you like to work with your hands, creating something from nothing? Then think about Laborers Local 41. You'll get 432 hours of apprenticeship training, all while earning a wage with benefits and incurring no student debt. You'll travel to different job sites, learn tons of skills, and in a lot of cases, be the first one on and the last one off a job site. It all starts at laborers41.com.
You guys are crushing it. See how 8 grams of healthy protein in Land of Frost premium meat gives you energy and keeps you full. Let's get those buns toasted, bread. Cheese, 10 more. Go.
I'm getting shredded.
Make the smart choice. Land of Frost Premium Meat.
And then, so third.
3-5.
3-5. And here in the third inning at Oil City Stadium, John Mastey, Charlie Schmidgall, as well as Griffin Winicky. And it's the third inning, which means it is time for the third inning trivia. As always, for those of you who are new to the rules, top of the inning, I give you the question. Bottom of the inning, I give you the answer. And Griffin and Charlie, as always, you are forced to play. And we will not move on until you give an answer in the bottom of the third. A little bit of a two-parter today. There are 2 answers for this one trivia question.
Okay.
So a little bit more to think about here. So, third inning trivia question. Who are the last 2 players to win back-to-back MVPs for both the American League and the National League in the MLB? So I need 2 guys here, all right?
Wow.
So who was the last guy to win back-to-back MVP in the American League, and who was the last guy to win back-to-back MVPs in the National League?
From one league to the other. It's back-to-back in the AL and back-to-back in the NL.
Yes, correct.
Okay, that changes things.
No, the question was the same the entire time, but
no, it changes the meaning. Because I was thinking,
I knew you were. There's going to be some. So that's the explanation part of it. So I need 2 guys who won back-to-back American League MVPs and back-to-back NL MVPs. I will give you a hint before we go to break. How about that? I'll give you the years they did it.
Okay. Well, right. I can tell you definitively that stipulation removes a very recent guy that may come to a lot of people's minds.
Who were you thinking of?
Shohei Ohtani.
That's who I was thinking of. So I'm glad. actually. I don't think
Well, he didn't win.
Yeah,
he hasn't won it yet.
So there's no stipulation.
Yeah. What am I thinking?
I don't know.
Is my brain not working?
There's definitely
I don't
guys who have
know.
won it in both leagues, but I don't.
Yeah, it's
I don't know if
pretty
there's-
rare
I do
in
not know if there's
back-to-back
ever been
years.
anybody who's won both leagues back-to-back years.
I want to say there was some conversation about it a while ago, just in the anticipation of Otani possibly being able to do it. And boy, does he look like he could be on the way this year. That man is fantastic.
But Judge won it last year, correct?
That is correct. That is strike 3, swinging. And with one down now, it's another punch out for Berggren.
He's looking good out there. I like to see this so far. Due to the way the weather has lined up and the days that Oilmen have had to play, actually, we haven't really seen the full pitching rotation and pitching lineup. You know, we've kind of had to just puzzle piece guys in and out. So now that hopefully our games get through a little bit more consistently now, we'll see a little bit more consistency from guys.
That's certainly what they're hoping for as Berggren gets that one in there. Swing and a miss there. And Berggren is really getting into his groove.
And Griffin, I'm going to ask you a question here.
I'm going to give you an answer.
That's thank you. You know, last time you guys were here at Oil City, we discussed how you guys really struggled with plate discipline and not swinging the bat. That is another front-facing K there. Is that a problem that you guys have continued to have, or is that something you're seeing improve a little bit?
You know, in terms of plate aggressiveness, the Vikings have definitely improved. Today's so far, Berggren's pitching himself a great game so far. After that strikeout, that was his 7th, which not looking good. This being a 3rd inning for the Vikings. You know, as we reach the top of the order here with Nick Mangano, hopefully all the Vikings are communicating, talking about it. So that ball is in center, fly ball. It'll be caught.
So we will go to break here on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Sports Network. Once again, your 3rd inning trivia question: who are the last 2 players to win back-to-back MVPs in the MLB for both the American League and National League? Your hint is in the AL, it was 2012 and 2013. In the NL, it was 2008 and 2009.
There's a shortage of roofers across the country. Here at Roofers Local 26, our signatory contractors are in need of a well-trained workforce, and it's our job to provide that workforce. We are looking for people that are self-motivated, people that are reliable, people that are willing to give a hard day's work. In return, they get a good paycheck with good benefits. This is not a job, this is a career. If you're willing to put the time and dedication in, we're willing to provide you the tools and training necessary for you to succeed in the roofing industry. We've been doing this for almost 100 years. We know how to get the job done.
Bottom of the 3rd here on the Oilmen Sports Network, which means it's time for your answer for the 3rd inning trivia question. Gentlemen, we discussed, you guys are having some pretty good, when I gave you the hints right before break, you guys had some pretty good guesses, right?
Yeah.
So, Hayden Meyer, I'm going to let you guess first. Neither league.
I was going to say that.
That's
that
not
would be a
true.
national league.
That's not true. You are 100% correct. I don't know why I said that. I think I was just prepared to say you were wrong regardless. So Albert Pujols won National League MVP in 2008 and 2009 for the St. Louis Cardinals. And you're the other one.
We were thinking for the American League, it was Miguel Cabrera, 2012-2013. We got trivia. We won trivia.
Trivia whiz.
We won trivia.
We need to, you know what we're going to do? That is your correct answer. Mogi Cabrera won American League MVP in 2012 and 2013, and Albert Pujols won the National League MVP in 2008 and 2009. Excellent work from everybody up here in the booth today, my 2 broadcast partners, as well as our 2 co-inhabitants here in the brick house, Hunter and Hayden.
Double
Good
H
job.
over there.
Good job, guys. Good job. I'm really proud of you. And I'm not kidding. I'm gonna make a sign of the amount of times you guys have gotten a trivia question right, and that will be the first one. So good work, everyone.
Nice.
Good work.
It's group effort.
And do you remember well, I guess this is a question for you here, John. Do you know where Miggy got his start in his career?
The Marlins.
That is correct. And if I do recall, that is going to be a hit by pitch advance to first for Thaxton. I believe he was in the trade with Dontrell Willis.
I think you're right, actually, because
that was a bad trade.
Pick up the phone and be like, hello, I'd like to report theft.
Yes. Typical Detroit, am I right? Can't have anything.
That was something there.
That was
I
timing.
apologize to all of our friends and fans from Detroit.
I should point out I am going to college in Michigan. I think Detroit's a fine city. I just think it's funny.
No, you can't backtrack now.
No, I'm not. I'm poking the stick of fun. And you ask anybody in Detroit.
That's pretty good. Okay. Now, once again, you've said this before. You're going to Michigan State or Michigan?
Michigan State.
Okay. So, funny story I have about Michigan State. So, I made a couple of March Madness brackets previously, this last March Madness, and my favorite one I did was I took either the best or most famous player from that school's history, and if those two teams, like those two players had to 1v1, who would win, all right? Spoiler alert, the finals was North Carolina versus Texas, Kevin Durant versus Michael Jordan, right?
KD's a tough guy to beat one-on-one.
He is. So I give it to Jordan. Just on defense alone. But for Michigan State, I had to put Draymond Green. And let me tell you something, they did not make it out of the first round.
Oh, geez. Draymond?
I don't even remember who they played.
Magic Johnson. You didn't put Magic Johnson?
You're just realizing that, too.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
I can't believe this.
I completely forgot. I just
One
watched
of the greatest college basketball rivalries.
You know the worst part about it was? When I was filling that out, I was watching something on my TV. I was watching Winning Time on HBO Max.
Oh, no. What a great – I enjoyed Winning Time. I was disappointed to see they canceled it.
For some obvious reasons. I think a lot of people – I know people wanted to say that they canceled it because, a couple people – or Jerry West was suing and there's a couple things like that. No one watched it. That's why they canceled the show. No one was watching.
I watched it myself. I liked it.
I
only watched the first season though. I know they came out with the second one.
The first season is definitely better than the second one. I said that's funny though. Interesting.
We're 3 for 3 right now.
I don't know why I picked Draymond Green.
I mean Draymond is a very notable player from there. Another guy who was good in college that never panned out in the pros, disappointingly to me. I loved Denzel Valentine there. That's a hard hit ball foul.
As a former Bulls fan, watching Denzel Valentine hurt sometimes.
Oh, Denzel,
yeah,
no. That's not your shot.
That game against the Heat gives me nightmares still.
Adam Amin, Valparaiso University grad, making that call.
I was that's something I was listening to on the radio today on, kind of Chicago sports broadcasters. Your boy Chris Vosters was just fired, Charlie, from his job as the Blackhawks play-by-play announcer.
That is an errant throw from the pitcher. Second error of the game for the Vikings. And, yeah, I've worked with Chris a couple of times, and I've always found him to be very cordial to work with. I've worked with him not in basketball, in football and volleyball at Purdue, and always just the nicest guy. He was one of the few people that, you'd meet him for the third time, and he remembered my name. He said, hello, Charlie, instead of me having to go, hey, Chris, I'm Charlie, how's it going? So I hope that he finds a good spot for him, but I think that the Blackhawks got a grade A hire, guy with a lot of experience in the NHL in Calgary. I think that's a really great move.
But I agree with you, and the point I'm trying to make there is Chicago sports right now is kind of at an all-time low. You're hoping the Bears and the Blackhawks get on the up and up. Everyone thought the Cubs were going to be great. They aren't.
Great pitch there from Leckrone for the strikeout there.
Sox aren't good either, Hayden. All right, I'll admit that. Bears.
Sox aren't just not good; they're terrible.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
What are they at? 14 in a row.
losses.
Yeah,
and
I
the
know.
Bulls are the Bulls, and I feel like kind of the broadcasting kind of mirrors that a little bit. Where unfortunately, right now, especially because Chicago has such a rich broadcasting history. You look at Hawk Harrelson, Harry Carey, Pat Foley. Let's not get ridiculous with Len Casper.
Len Casper is a great
Now,
broadcaster.
the word great is a absolute insult to actual broadcasters who are great. I'm not saying Steve Stone's really good. I just let's not shuffle in Len Casper with some of the all-time greats I just named. That's the point I'm trying to make. And right now, we don't really have that across sports. And point being, I do think Adam Hamid is actually probably one of the best broadcasters in Chicago right now.
I agree.
I think he's excellent. And he does a really good job on baseball too. He does games on FS1.
He does some football. I think he did a couple games for the Bears.
He did a few NFL games. I remember watching.
Yeah.
Maybe just NFL total. I
He-
like him.
he is
He's got
in
a
an
really,
NFL
he's got a,
mix.
he's got a good voice. He's fun to listen to. Okay. There's a lot of guys, and ultimately, Charlie, I know you and I both share love for Jason Benetti. That's ultimately kind of the reason he left, is because the Sox didn't like how he was doing multiple, networks, and hey, I'm leaving to go do this for ESPN, and hey, I'm leaving this to go do this for Fox, and I understand both sides of it, but it's just sad they couldn't come to an agreement.
Well, and Chicago's the perfect place to have that setup because they actually have a setup at the Big Ten Network studios where it's a remote broadcasting room that he was able to utilize a few times for games that would have been off coast. That's going to hit Wendling. A few hit batters here for LaCrone. Kind of the only tarnish on what's otherwise been an excellent pitching day for him, but now 2 aboard with 1 down.
Second hit by pitch of the day, and I don't know if that might be the last we see of him here.
I don't think so. I think, coach is maybe just giving him kind of a pep talk, talking to all the guys. He's been close to that throughout this game. He's trying to establish that inside zone, LaCrone is. And with that, some of the players are crowding the plate and just rubbing some dirt on it, taking balls to the leg.
Rub a little dirt on it. Hayden, who sings that song?
He does not know.
And when we are talking about the broadcasters in town, Boog Shambi is pretty well notable, specifically because he's also the voice in MLB The Show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's given some good publicity to him. And the problem, Marquee's not in most standard cable packages, but if you can watch games on Marquee, I always find it to be enjoyable, even as a White Sox fan. I'm just a fan of baseball in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also just kind of think another problem with broadcasting as a whole right now is now there's so many streaming services and so many exclusive deals, and there's so many different stations. If you want to go watch a game, sometimes your home team's game isn't even on your regular station because Apple bought the rights to the game for whatever. And so I don't want to say it's an oversaturation, but it's kind of if you do that and you're always jumping around networks and hey, I got to go to this guy, then this guy, then this girl, you're losing a sense of familiarity, which is really what makes broadcasters shine. The reason so many great broadcasters are great is because they worked for the same team for decades and they became personal with the fans. And I just feel like you're not getting that anymore across some broadcasting.
Yeah, especially in basketball and baseball, the longer sports, 82 games in an NBA season, 162 in an MLB season.
Mm-hmm.
You really build a relationship with those guys. As Scott comes set here in a 1-2. Big swing and a miss, strike 3. Nice punch out from Mason LaCrone as he continues to deal. And Griffin, your pitching staff is looking pretty darn good to start this game.
Yeah, LaCrone started out. Unfortunately, that run is going to still sting. But LaCrone thus far, 6 strikeouts, pitching so far. I mean, I have to say right here, LaCrone and Berggren both pitching great games. And we are pretty happy to see that. Love a good pitcher's duel.
Boy, do we. As Caceres takes one a little up and in, 4-1.
Griffin, me and Charlie have had conversations privately about, who we love as broadcasting and broadcasters. Who are some people that you look up to and that you kind of maybe based your broadcasting style around?
I grew up on Jason Benetti. Although I am a Red Sox fan, I loved watching Jason Benetti and Steve Stone on the White Sox cast. And currently now I'm a big Stacey King and Adam Amin guy. I also do like Kevin Burkhardt. I think Kevin Burkhardt is one of my more favorite play-by-play guys. There aren't really many broadcasters that has a very close play at first base. I'll get back to that. Good play right
We'll come
there.
back to it.
Really nice job making up for what was initially a booted ball, but it's 2 left aboard for the Oilmen. 1-0 game when we return, top of the 4th. Here from Whiting.
Safety doesn't come in a box. It's not a banner that goes on a wall. It's not something you do now and then, or when it's convenient. It's using state-of-the-art simulators to better prepare for any situation. It's giving offshore teams onshore support, and it's empowering anyone to stop a job if something doesn't seem right. At BP, safety is never being satisfied and always working to be better.
Miller Lite tastes great. Let's fill it. Tastes great. Let's fill it. Tastes great. It is both. It is both. It is both. It is both. It's both.
Hey, thanks for the backup.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Oilmen with a 1-0 advantage. RJ Berggren back out on the bump, and he has been dominating for this Oilman squad to this point.
Yeah, 7 strikeouts, 42 pitches so far. Yeah,
there we go.
7 strikeouts, 42 pitches so far. Set himself up for a nice night. And you guys told me earlier, there aren't a lot of guys available to come in case of trouble.
No, it's pretty much 2 pitchers today. You're expecting to see him and Deerdorf. And, you've got guys for the in a pinch situation, but I was told those are the primary 2 for today.
And that's just, once again, the struggle of the league and the struggle of the team. You were talking to, Zunkel yesterday. You asked him, hey, who's playing today? And he goes, hey, what day is it? Right? That's kind of the joke he made. But there was a lot of truth to it where, some days some guys can't play and vice versa for the other. So we talked about it yesterday. We were joking on the broadcast how we were very much building the plane while we were flying it. And you mentioned that you're flapping your arms as hard as you can. But the Oilmen, our players, are almost doing the exact same thing.
We got enough flapping arms that we're keeping this thing up in the air. Our toes might drag against the ground sometimes, but we're staying in flight. As the delivery from Berggren just able to get in there for strike 1.
Did either of you guys, now, Charlie, I know you're a pretty big college baseball guy, Big Ten as well. That's where you originate from. You as well, Griffin. Did you guys see that the Oklahoma softball team just won their 4th straight championship?
I was watching that last night, actually.
Were you really?
Yeah, it was a good game.
Swing and a miss there, strike 3 for Berggren. And that Oklahoma team is so much overwhelmingly better than everybody else. Like, it's not that the other teams aren't good. It's just that Oklahoma is so unbelievably good.
Yeah.
It's unreal. You can play a near-perfect game, and if you make one mistake, they will find a way to beat you.
Yeah, I mean, like, I knew they were really good last year, right? I knew it was a big deal that they're like, oh, they're going for their 3-peat, right? And then for whatever reason, I kind of just, like, forgot that they actually won 3. And then I heard on the radio today that's like, oh, yeah, Oklahoma won their 4th straight. That's like, if you're a freshman, if you came in as a freshman and you're not going for your graduate year and you're done, you just won a national title every year you went to college.
That's absurd.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It's absolutely insane. Like, there's going to be players. There probably are players in that program who don't know what losing is.
They lost 7 times this year, which sounds like a lot, but they won 59 games.
Wow, that
in the most competitive softball conference in the country,
in my opinion. Do you know how many
seasons
it would take the White Sox to win 59 games?
At this rate, a few.
59 seasons. That's how long it would take. But yeah, if any of them are listening, which I don't know why they would be, but absolutely congratulations to Oklahoma softball team. Just jaw-dropping. I mean, that's really the only word you can use.
And anyone who dared rank Texas #1, they reminded you exactly why they rule the Red River. So that one is going to be another punch out for R.J. Berggren. Berggren, he's got a few strikeouts to this point in this game.
Few is an understatement. He has 9 as he's facing Elijah Rainey right here.
I think there's just something about us playing the Hammond Vikings that really just electrifies our pitchers. Maybe it's because the pitchers just look at Griffin Winicky up here in the press box and they take it personally.
They get angry at how good I look, I guess.
Whoa!
That's what they're telling me anyway.
Is this
I won't be saying. Those
Is this a hitter's count?
I won't be saying.
You haven't said it yet. So good on you.
Did he go? No, he didn't. Now 2-0. This would be a hitter's count.
I will not say it.
I know. I'm saying it
Do
for
it.
you. I'm saying it for you.
Do it.
You can.
I'm a gentleman like that. Able to find a spot in there for Rainey. That one bounces in. And the count now 3-1. Berggren has just been so good, but now he's got to throw a strike here.
You gotta remember, you're only up 1-0. Now, obviously, the Oilmen's first 2 games of the season were incredibly dominating. One of them was against the Hammond Vikings. But now, especially last night and today, you're now playing these couple of closer games. You're going to have to play in crunch time. You're going to have to play in the tires, as they say in boxing. And like I mentioned it last night, in that really close game against the Indiana Panthers, I liked it. I wanted to see the Oilmen have to play a close game. I don't want to see them just absolutely dominate a team, because at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to grow or learn if you're just steamrolling every team you place. You're only going to be able to learn if you're getting these tough positions, and that's what we have here today, despite the lead.
So there is a walk passed out. Only the second of the year, I believe, as it is administered to Rainey. And it'll bring up Damon Brenna. Brenna, again, he hasn't gotten any of the runners he's thrown down to out yet. But, man, the arm has looked good.
His pop time and his arm have been super impressive so far, as we've seen 2 very close plays at first and second.
And, I mean, it's impressive because he's a big, strong guy. He's able to move around really well and be able to utilize the strength and flexibility to keep the ball in front of him. Scott loses that one. He's got no clue where it's at, and it's going to allow for the advancement. So that moves Rainey over to second. Tying run now in scoring position.
This is exactly what I was talking about here. I'd like to see this for the Oilmen, because this is a tough spot to be in. You're only up by 1 run with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Not to the halfway point just yet, but trying to get there with a lead, and then you can just kind of park the bus throughout the remainder of the game.
That one is belted to left field. Moving back is White, and Isaiah White makes the catch in stride. So 1 stranded in scoring position for the Vikings, and the Oilmen looking to expand on a 1-0 lead when we return here to Oil City.
Don't let pain knock you out of the ring. Our hand, wrist, and elbow experts are pioneers worldwide. You need us in your corner. Midwest Orthopedics at Rush. Make an appointment today. After our minimally invasive spine surgery, 80% of golfers maintained or improved their handicap. Be treated by the pros to play more like a pro. Midwest Orthopedics at Rush. Make an appointment today.
That's right, Candace. We're getting multiple reports of this mysterious but powerful phenomena. People are experiencing a sound, after which they drop everything, and I mean everything, and run to their nearest White Castle. Now, we are urging folks to stay calm. There's no evidence that this...
Richard, we're live.
When the crave calls,
Richard, we're live.
Go to White Castle for the $5 bacon bundle with 2 bacon sliders and a small fry. White Castle. Follow your crave.
That's it.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We still like that old-time rock and roll here at Oil City Stadium. Both pitchers have been rocking and rolling. Only one hit in this game going into the bottom of the fourth. And, John, the Oilmen have got to find a way to create offense a little more efficiently, stranded a couple last inning.
I am going to get to that point, but previously, I need to make another chart of absolute flawless transitions by you, because that would have been...
Oh, thank you.
Good job. No, you are right, though. The offense does need to get going here for the Oilmen. Obviously, with a one-run lead, I just mentioned not past the halfway point just yet, so you're a little bit dangerous. And thank you to whoever just covered up our camera. Really pretty. Oh, and it's... All right.
Oh, he pivoted it.
All right. So, looks like that camera's done for the night. Gotta love that.
Josh, come on now.
We'll have a talking to him.
I'll go down there and I'll yell at him for you.
But I wanted to do it.
We can both yell at him.
Okay, sounds good.
The window's open.
Griffin, you just yell at him from here.
Yeah, should I?
Should we harass him when he's in the not harass, heckle him when he's in the batter's box?
Man, we'll see.
You think we can heckle our own players? You think that's in our contract for something we can do?
I don't know. I don't know that we want to find out. Either way.
Griffin, you try, and then we'll see what happens.
I'm not sure if I want to put myself in that position.
That's a fair assessment.
Come on.
I'm the guest here.
Vosberg, good take outside. 2-1, playing at the College of DuPage. A lot of guys from the Chaparrals on this team. The alma mater of head coach Tyler's uncle. And no, it's not Tyler's uncle. It's Tyler's uncle.
There you go. I like how you said the same exact thing twice.
No, Tyler apostrophe S, uncle. It's not your buddy Tyler's uncle. It's your buddy, comma, Tyler's uncle. Grammar lesson, folks, is what we're going for. That's a walk for Vosberg.
Do you think Tyler's uncle has an Uncle Tyler?
That would rock. I haven't asked him.
Tyler.
Tyler's uncle. Oh, quick check over to first as Buck Groberski steps in now, product of Lockport, Illinois. So I just caught myself in the middle of saying it wrong.
That's
Swing and a miss.
right.
If we were all perfect, we'd all be named John Mass today.
There you go. There you go. That's what I like to hear. Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate that.
No problem.
They start to cry.
Big time throw down to first, tag not there in time. Good hustle back from Vosberg. And again, we are seeing Brenna's got quite the arm behind home.
Yeah, no, he definitely does. It's hard for catchers, he also has a fast pop time too. It's hard for catchers sometimes to, nail it down right then and there. But Brenna's done a very solid job throughout this game.
When it comes to
there.
Nice little floater out there. And there you see it. Second hit of the game gets through, and now 2 aboard for the Oilmen with no one down following the hit from Buck Groberski.
Charlie, you and I were just talking about how the Oilmen really need to get their offense going here, and it looks like they're starting to do that now. 2 runners on with no outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Looking for some insurance runs right before the halfway point. Look at our camera. Look at how they massacred my boy.
It's unfortunate. Maybe he thought he was doing us a favor, trying to straighten it, and
it was a cool camera angle because he put his palm over it, and then I don't know what happened.
It was there, and the next minute it was gone. As Williams goes around, 0-2 now. The man who disrupted the camera earlier. Real strong utility guy. Leckrone comes set. Righty delivers home, and that one pitched up foul and carrying out of play.
With the Hammond Vikings having no runs on the board, a lot of donuts on that scoreboard. Today is actually National Donut Day.
Oh.
So happy holidays, boys.
I wish I would have celebrated.
Yep. Wish I would.
Are you guys like dough donuts people or like cake donut people?
I'm a cake donut person.
I'm a cake as well.
I don't know.
Hey, did you understand what I'm talking about? Do you understand what I'm saying, or do you just want a actual donut? Okay. Hunter, do you get it? You like the doughs? Okay. Griffin, how about you?
I don't know. I feel like I'm a mix. I maybe prefer cake donuts more, but I feel like you really can't go wrong with either or.
I think it depends on the kind of donut you have. It also depends on like the icing and toppings you have.
Oh,
There's
100%.
something like a blueberry cake donut. Yeah. We don't need to discriminate against the donuts, all right? They can all be in the box together.
You know, I gotta ask, where's your favorite donut?
Where's my favorite donut?
Like
from?
where you want to treat yourself to the best donut you've had. Where do you go?
Calumet City Bakery.
Ooh, okay. I've never been there.
You're missing out.
I would have to say either in Bloomington there's a place called Square Donuts, or even around here, Rise and Roll Bakery.
Ooh, yeah.
It's very good.
Rise and Roll Bakery is something. And was it a
pitch clock violation?
Yeah, no.
That's right, folks. We have it.
First time we've seen it so far in this league.
It's actually the second time I've seen it.
First time we've seen it.
There was one in the Indiana Panthers game and the Vikings last
There is no
Friday.
physical pitch clock here at Oil City and none of the other parks we play at, but the umpires do keep a mental, well, maybe they have a watch in that one just floated over there. Rise and Roll Bakery, while they are good, one donut is probably your caloric intake for about a week.
And that's just something you have to risk because, dang, they are good.
They are, man. There also there's a certain skill you have to eat them with because they're mostly covered with powdered sugar. So if you breathe in when you go to take a bite, you might need to be calling EMT Hayden Meyer over there because that's a dangerous thing to do.
And I gotta tell you, one place that I was introduced to a long time ago is that one misses. It'll be ball 4. So base is now loaded for the Oilmen. It's Munster Donut.
Munster Donut's pretty good.
Yeah.
My friend's aunt and uncle lived over there, and we went to their house, and they wanted Munster Donut, and I was like, "What's the big deal?" And then I ate it, and I was like, "Oh, this is the big deal."
I recently had it's called Parlor Donuts.
Yes,
and
in
the
Valpo.
best way I can, well, there's one in Munster too.
Oh, okay.
The best way I can describe it is it's a donut shop that's like a crumble cookie where they do like custom like donuts and everything. You just had a realization that
there's
I'm 100%
no better way
right.
to put that.
I'm 100% right. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Where like their donuts change every day, but they're not. I don't know if you can really call them donuts because they're more like croissants.
Yeah.
That have been decorated.
They're too gourmet to be a donut, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel you know what, donuts are for the working man.
That's right.
Like grab one, put it in your cup of coffee. But no, Parlor don't. I mean, they're very good. They're very good. I just don't know if they truly qualify as a donut.
It's a little too busy for me. I'm a little bit boring.
What's your favorite kind of? Oh, by the way, we never went down to that side of the table. Hunter, Hayden, your go-to place for donuts? Finger Hut Bakery. That's, you know what? I've been there. Fantastic. I love their breads. They're great. Hunter? Parlor Donuts. All right. I'm calling
Just giving them the
I'm
shout-out there.
I'm a man of the people. All right? That's what they call me. All right, now favorite type of donuts.
Ooh. Double chocolate is usually my favorite. Or maple frosting. You get good maple frosting. Oh, hard to beat is that's ball 2 in there.
I don't know. I'm sort of a boring guy when it comes to my food. A glazed donut, to be honest, you can't ever go wrong with that.
It's a classic. John, what are you thinking?
I know I just said I like cake donuts, but man, you'll never see me turn down a vanilla Long John.
Sound falls foul. Count now even 2-2. And a Long John is an underrated donut. It's a lot easier to eat, I feel like,
Very
without
much
getting
so.
my hands
very
all messy.
easy to hold. Every once in a while, I like it just the donut in the frosting. Sometimes I like sprinkles on there, but normally it's just vanilla frosting on a Long John. Great. Especially from Calumet City Bakery. Absolutely goated.
I really might need to check it out.
Goated with the frosting. You know, that's what they say. Who's they? Me. I just said it.
2-2, excellent take outside. Counts full, base is full. pivotal moment in this game with no outs produced yet here in the bottom of the fourth. Mason LaCrone back against the wall and locates it for the backwards K.
Mike Jones not happy with that call.
Doubles down.
I respect that.
So after the strikeout, looking big pickup for LaCrone there. And it'll turn the lineup over to Aiden Thaxton. But with the bases loaded and one out, the objective obviously has to be to try to get a ground ball and force a double play. But it's going to be tough against this top of the order.
Got to focus on one out. I feel like that's the biggest mistake, and this is a message to all you young baseball players out there. 99% of the time, the reason you see errors and mistakes made on trying to turn double plays is because they're focused on getting the second out before they get the first, Whether it's that toss over to second or third and they try to sweep across the bag and throw it over, they're more worried about getting into their throwing motion than stepping on the bag. And so something you really got to focus on if you're trying to turn a double play is getting the first out.
Yeah, so in this situation here, I mean, Force has to be at home and then worry about that second out, which would then be at first base.
Force necessarily doesn't need to be at home. You just need to be quick enough to get your first 2 outs before that runner at third comes across.
Pitch in there for strike one. Mason LaCrone having a good day trying to keep up with R.J. Berggren, who's been pitching a fantastic game for the Oilmen. 2-1 to Thaxton, misses well high at about eye level. 3-1, and things could get hairy for the Vikings if they can't find the zone here. Misses outside, and that'll be a freebie. Oilmen walk in a run, and the score goes to 2-0 for the home team.
I will say, though, Griffin, the Vikings can't get discouraged here. It's still very much a close game at this point, and you got to forget about that walk and the run across.
Yeah,
you still got to get 2 outs here. Go on, Griffin.
I agree. Anything could happen later on in this game. Plenty of innings left. It's definitely just tough. It could be discouraging for these players, but it's really something they should not fret over. Right there's called strike. Right there should increase LaCrone's confidence.
I'll say this. I wouldn't say you shouldn't fret over it, because you should. Just not right now. Right now.
In terms of how you view the rest of this ball game.
Yeah. Don't worry about it now. Worry about when the ball game's over.
So that one is pitched high into the air. Bendis underneath it hauls it in. They're going to test the arm at home. Excellent throw in, but way offline and out of play. 2 will score following the throwing error on Bendis, so it's an E7. And since he already got to first, or rather, because Thaxton was on first, he will move over to third. So it is a runner on third and a 4-0 ball game in favor of the Oilmen.
Just like that, a little bit different than what we were just talking about.
I don't want to be that guy. That might be one of the worst throws from left field I've ever seen in my entire life.
I get that you have the big arm, but you got to hit the cutoff guy. The accuracy is so much more important there. Because, I mean, he threw that ball a really long way.
Yeah, I know. I know you started to say excellent throw, and you caught yourself. And I was with you, because the way we're sitting, like, oh, he put some height on this ball, and he's going to arc in perfectly.
He threw it a long way.
And just from where we're sitting, where we're kind of askew from where that ball's thrown, it looked good. And then once it got into the infield, I think collectively we all just went, oh, no.
When I saw Brenna moving, I was like, oh, wow. This ball is way left or way right from our point of view than we thought.
That's the kind of things we're trying to work on here at the Northern League. And you know what? I'm going to go back to what you just said there, Charlie, that you're absolutely right. You got to hit the cutoff guy unless you are 100% positive that you can make that throw into home.
Yes, but a lot of the time, your confidence might be a little bit higher in yourself than it should be for a lot of these guys. As the 2-1 is belted out into right center field, all red on his horse. and gets there in time after losing the lid. So Dre Allred catches the third out, but not before the Oilmen score 3 runs. 4-0. The score when we return 5th inning action here from Whiting.
We don't go to the office, we build it. This is a truism with Ironworkers Local 395 and the Northwest Indiana Contractors Association. Our goal is to exceed our customers' expectations. We provide a skilled, OSHA-trained, drug-free workforce, as well as many other certifications from our 4-year training program. Every time you hire an iron worker from Local 395, you should feel confident that you are receiving highly trained, highly skilled, and drug-free journeymen and apprentices who take their job and your project seriously. For more information, contact us at 219-763-7900 or ironworkers395.com.
BP's natural gas teams use Smart App technology to share data from any well instantly, so they can analyze trends and stop potential problems in their tracks, because safety is never being satisfied and always working to be better.
8:27 here in Whiting, Indiana, and as we enter the 5th inning, that means it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Miller Lite, a proud sponsor of the Northwest Indiana Oilmen. Great taste, less filling. Please drink responsibly. Thank you, Hayden. Thank you. And because it's the 5th inning, gentlemen, that means it is time for the 5th inning today in sports history with yours truly, John Massey. Today in sports history, 1892. John J. Doyle is the first person ever in baseball to pinch hit. Okay. So very long history in baseball if you really think about it. 1989, Wayne Gretzky wins his 9th MVP. It is the 9th time he does it in 10 years. And I'm going to play a little bit of a side trivia here. This one won't go on the official score here. But do either of you know who is the other person to win MVP during the 80s for the NHL?
During the 80s?
I could not tell you. I wish my hockey knowledge was, it stemmed that far, but it was not.
I haven't really watched a lot of hockey in my life. Are they a Blackhawk by chance?
I think they were, you know what, I think it might have been a Canadian. It's Mario Lemieux. All right.
Okay.
So from 1980 to 1989, Gretzky won from 1980 to 1987. Gretzky won. Mario Lemieux won in 88, and then Gretzky won again in 89 to win 9 in 10 years.
That's pretty unbelievable.
I mean, that's the only sport where the GOAT is not debated by any means.
That and women's tennis.
That's true. That's true.
But it's so rare to have that, that kind of rarefied air.
9 MVPs in 10 years. Wow.
At that point, why even try?
Why even try?
Sometimes people weren't thinking he was.
Today in 2010, Bryce Harper is the #1 pick of the MLB draft. And I know a lot of people will go back and forth between him and Mike Trout, but I have always said that current players without a ring, I consider Bryce Harper to be the best.
Oh, I disagree. I understand your point, but man, when Mike Trout is healthy, I know the argument is that he never is.
That is the best ability is availability.
But I mean, Mike Trout is probably the greatest baseball player I have ever seen in my life when he is healthy. So that one misses high. 3-2 count. And I absolutely understand because Bryce Harper also is so good.
I think it's always really interesting that two guys of similar caliber exist at the same time, and they're both ringless, and they also won massive MVPs. So kind of you just have to. It's really a personal opinion at that point. But that was today in sports history, folks. Make sure you tune in once again tomorrow on Bobblehead Night here at Oil City, where first, I don't know how many people it is in attendance, but show up as fast as you can. Don't walk, run to Oil City tomorrow. 7 o'clock start, 7:10 first pitch. Get your Oil Man Stand bobblehead today. Tomorrow. I don't know.
Gonna have people running down here today as that one is pushed out the opposite way. White stops underneath it, and Isaiah White hauls in the first out of the inning.
You know, people should run in here today. They should. They should come watch the second half of this game.
R.J. Berggren worked to another full count there, but found his way out. And picking up couple more outs for him would be big. I'd expect we'd see him for about 5 innings and then a move to the pen, but time will tell.
Charlie, real quick, just not really a point about baseball or anything, just a personal point. That this is probably our 4th game working with each other. Not probably, it is our 4th game working with each other. And every time I say something you disagree with, and you're very respectful, which I do appreciate, but you make this face like you just had a Carolina Reaper, and then you shake your head and your shoulders a lot. That's just there is no point behind that. That is just an observation.
Wow. No, I know. Like, well, I mean, I try not to say too much stuff, about points on the air sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I always try to make it so that you don't have to guess.
There you go.
I do a lot of communication without the words in that department.
The body language is very good.
For telling you, oh man, I don't know. Mike Trout is just, I'm passionate about Mike Trout for seemingly no reason.
And that's, I feel like a lot of people, when they hear me say that, or when people hear things like that, people automatically assume that I don't like Mike Trout then, that I think Mike Trout's a bad player. I by no means think Mike Trout's a bad player. Don't get that impression. If you ask me, hey, would you rather have prime Mike Trout or prime Bryce Harper, I would just take Bryce Harper, and that's just a personal opinion. It's nothing.
I'd take either of them on the White Sox.
Yeah, I would take literally. I would take Hayden Myers on the White Sox right now. Have you seen our roster, Hayden?
As that'll be ball 4. Free pass issued there for Allred. Dre Allred heads to first. 1 down, 1 aboard now for Parker Engel. Engel is one of the guys out there playing second today for your team.
Yeah, it's his first game actually today. Playing from Knox College. Originally went to Marian Catholic. Also like Nick and Anthony Mangano. So it's at strike 1 right there.
Speaking of the White Sox, by the way, Griffin, something we talked about last time you were here, and we've talked about it tonight, but your team and our team, the Sox, are facing off today. Currently,
what's the score of that
White
game?
Sox, it's 4-2 in favor of the White Sox in the top of the 5th inning, very similar to our game here.
Following a 2-run single by Oscar Colas. I had such high hopes for Oscar Colas. I hope he can still find his way to him, because in my out-of-the-park baseball sim, I just got a little bit of excellence from him.
Yeah? Was that your guy?
He wasn't my guy. He just was the guy that I couldn't get anything to trade for, and so then he wound up playing the outfield and actually batting okay.
There you go.
Out-of-the-park baseball, folks, a simulation-based game on Steam. Not bad. A little pricey, but not bad. Because it's basically just like Excel baseball.
Oh.
Real Moneyball type stuff.
That's your favorite movie, isn't it?
It's not my favorite movie, but it's a great movie.
Your favorite sports movie?
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, okay.
I can agree.
Okay.
You
know that movie is historically inaccurate, right?
Oh, no, I know. They failed to mention, the Cy Young winning pitcher, as that is too much time taken on the throw across. Wendling thought he had a moment, and that one, interested to see if that one will get chalked up as an error or a hit. And a hit is what it will be called.
Yeah, they forget to mention that. They also forget to mention they had prime Jermaine Dye before he went to the White Sox. Just a lot of guys on that team. They were like, we just found these dudes in the garbage and we put them on the baseball field.
Was that not the same year Miguel Tejadas won the MVP?
No, that is.
Yeah, okay.
It's
So why aren't they
completely
mentioning
unmentioned. But it's such an enjoyable movie. And one of my favorite anecdotes from that movie is, when Billy thinks back to what the scouts were telling him, and they go through the, we all get told at some point we can no longer play the child's game. Some of us get told at 18, some of us get told at 40, but at some point we're all told, as that one is lifted out into left center field. White on his horse brings it in, throw. They're not going to test the arm, and that is wise. Good block by Scott, and runners stay put with 2 down on the corners. I got told at like 14, so.
There you go. And that's kind of the throw I was referring to there. If you're confident enough, now granted that was a little bit more shallow than what we saw from the Vikings earlier, but if you're confident enough in your arm to make that throw to home, definitely take it. But if you're not, just hit the relay guy and let your infield handle it from there. Griffin, what's your favorite sports movie?
I do like Moneyball a lot, but one of the few baseball movies that I've enjoyed over the past few years. Major League. I like
Good
Bill
movie.
Durham also. Mr. 3000 with Bernie Mac. I think is
Mhm.
also a good movie. I don't know. I'm just a sucker for sports movies.
I have a really
guess.
hot take for my favorite sports movies, and it angers some people. And I'd like to know if you guys will anger you. My favorite sports movie is Cars.
Okay.
I guess that is technically.
technically counts.
I loved Cars as a kid, man. What a movie that is.
I think there's a really good, like, life lesson for athletes in Cars, and I think everyone should watch it.
I guess I've never really thought of Cars as a sports movie before.
I mean, it's racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you are right.
That's crazy.
Huh.
I can't believe I'd never put that together in my head.
Yeah.
As the 0-2 from Bergeron misses high. 1-2 now the count. Bergeron, that last hit he gave up, worthy of note, was his first hit of the game allowed.
And most times people argue with me that it's not a sports movie, so I have to give another answer, and my other answer is always Cinderella Man.
Ooh,
Okay,
great
yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Raging Bull before?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
I think it's great.
I think it's definitely
It's a little
not
out-
as good as Cinderella Man and Rocky.
I think
but
it's
good.
I think it's outdated just because when was that made? Like 70s, late 70s, early 80s.
I mean, you can't really call a movie outdated when it was made 50 plus years ago. I mean, what I don't know what else it would be.
So that one's floated high into the air. Thaxton calls him off and brings in the third out of the inning. So through 5, or heading into middle 5 rather, Oilmen with a 4-0 advantage. Bottom 5 when we return here to Whiting.
Do you like to work with your hands, creating something from nothing? Then think about Laborers Local 41. You'll get 432 hours of apprenticeship training, all while earning a wage with benefits and incurring no student debt. You'll travel to different job sites, learn tons of skills, and in a lot of cases, be the first one on and the last one off a job site. It all starts at laborers41.com.
Don't let pain knock you out of the ring. Our hand, wrist, and elbow experts are pioneers worldwide. You need us in your corner. Midwest Orthopedics at Rush. Make an appointment today.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Very happy to have you here with us, where we prepare to see Mason Leckrone roll out for his 5th inning of work.
Leckrone, 95 pitches through 4. A lot for 4 innings, for sure. He may reach 100 as inning keeps going. He'll be facing a tough batter in Emmanuel Scott. Scott got the first hit of this ball game. Said it's always fun to stay at the YMCA. It is always fun to stay at Oil City.
Absolutely it is.
Scott looks at ball 1.
Good eye from Scott.
Our dugout camera is back up.
Excellent work. Thank you, John.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Fantastic work, John.
Man of the people. Thanks, Griffin. Appreciate that. Going to address, by the way, the other end of the table. Hayden and Hunter, as always, we're going to address you guys in the conversation. Your favorite sports movies? Rocky 3?
Okay.
I feel like that's like the weirdest one to be for your favorite.
That's the one against Drago.
That's a great movie. Swing and a miss there, and Scott goes down swinging. Another punch out for Lecrone's total, and he's got to have quite a few today.
Yeah, 99. He threw 108 pitches last game, so Leckrone is no stranger to this. In college, he didn't get a whole lot of starts through college. But in terms of pitches thrown, I'll have a stat through college for you guys soon. In terms of number of pitches in college, his highest count was against Indiana Tech, and where he pitched 4 2/3, 99 pitches. Crohn's actually, throughout his college career, has not reached 90 pitches.
My youngest older brother is an alumni of Indiana Tech. I have said for years, and look it up if you don't believe me, that their logo, mascot, icon looks like Kylo Ren.
Okay.
Look up Indiana Tech's mascot.
I know what it looks like. I'm just.
Yeah, it looks like Kylo
I
Ren.
need to visualize it.
Looks like Griffin's looking it up.
Yep. So I'm interested. Is it this one? The Warriors?
Or are you looking
It
for
is
the one
not.
with the shield?
It is not.
I think that's
Unless
the
they
new logo.
maybe they updated it.
So that one is floated up and out of play.
Maybe they updated it after I sent in numerous letters saying it looked like Kylo Ren.
They got your letters, John.
They listen.
Yeah, I appreciate that. They definitely changed it.
Is it this one with the shield you're talking about?
This one right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yes.
is
What I got.
Kylo Ren
Okay.
to the max. Like the way the helmet comes over and then the eye slit. Yeah.
0-2 fouled off the end of the bat.
A beautiful canvas as well. I don't know if you guys have ever been there.
I have not.
Indiana Tech. It's a little bit. It's
Where's-
small.
Where's that at?
Fort Wayne.
Okay. Well, can't say I've been.
But really beautiful campus. It's kind of on a slope. The entire campus is kind of downhill, and so my brother would tell me that he would take his longboard, and on one push he can go across campus.
Breaking ball very nearly hits Caceres there, able to scoot out of the way. If you're going to get hit, you don't want it to be down in that lower part of your leg. That does not feel good.
Already seen that once today.
No,
Now-
pitched up out of play.
What a battle right now.
Now,
by
I don't want an
Caceres.
argument between the two of you. Charlie, a Purdue man. Griffin, IU man. What do you guys, in your opinion, what's like the most beautiful, best-looking campus you guys have ever been to? I will separate the two of you if I have to.
I'll give Indiana that their campus is traditionally beautiful. 2-2 misses outside. Full count. In my opinion, I really like the older academic look with the brick. I think Miami, Ohio is maybe the most beautiful campus I've ever been to, maybe in the country.
I can't say I've been to many campuses myself. It's that pop fly.
Floated
It's over.
down. And digging in for two is Caceres, slides and in safely. Noah Caceres hustles out a hard 180. And just like that, man in scoring position for the Oilmen.
I love to see that there from Caceres, turning what should just be a plain old single into a double, busting it down the line.
Great hustle play right there. Going back to favorite campuses, I mean, I do have to say some recency bias. Whenever it starts to get nice out in the second semester, springtime, I don't think there's a better campus than IU. Now, I haven't visited many campuses, that is. I'm
What are
always
like
open to
what
it.
are there's like a what's the trees at IU that are like kind of special?
The trees.
I know on Bloomington's. Hayden knows what I'm talking about. There's a tree. There's a bunch of trees on Bloomington's campus that are apparently when they bloom every year they're super fun to look at.
I have an idea. I think I have an idea of what you're talking about, but I don't know if. I mean, if there is a name for it, I do not know it. But I think I have an idea of what trees you're talking about. There are some. Sometimes you get lost walking to class in those woods. There are some tall trees there.
I mean, for me, it's always going to be Notre Dame.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
a nice
man,
campus.
Touchdown, Jesus.
Touchdown, Jesus. I mean, it's quite beautiful.
It really is. Pitch misses inside, 2-2. And the thing that I really like about Notre Dame is it's such a unique campus.
Yeah, it's not, when colleges get built or made, they kind of all use like the same construction companies and architectural designs. And so you kind of get the same sense of where everything is at on a campus, whether you're in Indiana, Delaware, Denver. Notre Dame, like you said, is kind of built different than most places.
That most certainly is the case, as there is a full count now. Delivery in off the end of the bat. Nice glove work by Leckrone, who went to turn 2 and realized there was no runner on first, and he'll settle for the out at first, as he will pick up what is the second out of the inning.
Caceres moves over to third.
After that at bat, Leckrone is at 113 pitches through 4 innings, 2/3 pitched. He's facing a 1-1 Grabowski.
That'll bring up Buck Groberski. Buck puts a good charge into that one, and it drops down and left. That's going to be an RBI single as Ryan Groberski extends the Oilmen lead 5-0.
Groberski is your textbook first baseman. First baseman almost always power hitters, and he sends a nice shot into left field for that one. Brings the runner home, makes it 5-0 now, as we're now into the second half of this ball game. Everything at this point is an insurance run, and now we're just trying to step on the gas and leave the Vikings in a dust cloud.
Pitch off the mark there. Count will go 1-0. And I think Leckrone is going to be given the leash to be able to finish this inning. But, man, he is putting up old-timey Cy Young numbers of pitches thrown.
And that's something that's kind of been a common occurrence here for the Vikings. Really, the only day I want to say there were 2 pitchers that went on Monday. It was David Anderson, a new player, pitched a great game in 4 innings, and then Trey Pitcock shoved the rest of them. Neither pitcher, I think, went over 70. So a bit of a different experience. But Leckrone, his last time around, threw 108. He's used to this. And Coach Hunt's told me he's going to give the guys the leash. You know, if they're feeling good, he's going to keep them out there. It's really up to the players, according to Coach.
And whether you're getting RBIs or you're getting X-rays, make sure you go to Midwest Orthopedics. To be your best, see the best. Elite and everyday performers worldwide. Trust our physicians to help them make a fast, complete recovery. We're here to help you rediscover the best version of yourself. Call Midwest Orthopedics today.
Pitch misses outside. Leckrone still having a little bit of trouble in a 3-0 count here. As Josh Williams prepares the auto take. And he did not want to take it, but he does. 3-1.
Griffin?
Yes.
What's your opinion on the industrial outfield now?
It looks nice. I like the 3 torches. Oh, 4.
The eternal flames. Like the eternal flame of victory.
It's a nice backdrop the more I look at it, I will say.
Sort of like a city of its own as you drive through it.
If you squint, it's a city.
As that'll be ball 4. Working the full count. Josh Williams heads down to first, and with 2 aboard, 2 down, Oilmen will bring up the bottom of the order, Isaiah White.
Isaiah White, we saw earlier, battling with the bugs out there in left field. Made a couple of good grabs, not only today, but so far throughout this season.
Pitcher steps off, needs a moment for Mason Leckrone.
And once again, we would like to thank you for joining us on whatever service you are listening to or watching us on, whether it's Jed TV, Region Sports Network, Facebook, YouTube, or maybe you got a tin can and a string, and you're just kind of listening through it that way. We appreciate you wherever you are.
Someone's in there for strike 1, and I do hope someone's on the other end of this tin can and that we haven't just been talking into it for no reason.
And whether or not you are there, we're still going to talk through it, just in case you want to come around.
Should be advice for everybody just to pick up the can and listen.
if you see it out there.
I feel like that like belongs on that's like a motivational quote almost. I feel like pick up the can and listen. That's a pretty good one.
Put that on like a wood burnt background, and we can sell that on Facebook.
Yeah, you can put it on Etsy. You know, every stay-at-home mom who lives in Utah will definitely decorate their house with that one.
Got to find a demographic somewhere.
There you go. Right next
to the
right next to the sign that says wine o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Friends are the family you choose. As that one misses, and it's a walk for Isaiah White as the lineup turns back over. Aiden Thaxton now with the bases loaded in a 5-0 game.
Going to have a mound visit here, and I believe is just going to be a straight-up pitching change as someone else is walking out of the bullpen.
That looks to be Peyton Fausto. Fausto attends Trine University. Not a lot of reps he has gotten, but that's kind of the thing for us as we will be right back.
Wait! Let me help! Lando Frost! Premium meat! Delicious! And no byproducts!
Toss it in.
Et moi?
Okay.
Whee!
Make a smart choice. Land of Frost Premium Meat.
We don't go to the office, we build it. This is a truism with Ironworkers Local 395 and the Northwest Indiana Contractors Association. Our goal is to exceed our customers' expectations. We provide a skilled, OSHA-trained, drug-free workforce, as well as many other certifications from our 4-year training program. Every time you hire an ironworker from Local 395, you should feel confident that you are receiving highly trained, highly skilled, and drug-free journeymen and apprentices who take their job and your project seriously. For more information, contact us at 219-763-7900 or ironworkers395.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Getting a look at the new arm for the Vikings. It's going to be Peyton Fausto. And Griffin, why don't you tell us a little bit more about him?
Yeah, Fausto going to enter his sophomore year at Trine. Freshman year did not get a lot of appearances, none at all actually. Attended Portage High School. Coach, he was actually slated to start Monday's game, but was unable to make it. As this will be his first appearance this season. Get a good look at him in a tough bases loaded situation.
And as he continues to get loose, you can sort of see the guys taking this opportunity to chat in the infield as they'll return to their places. And Aiden Thaxton gets ready for what could be a crucial at-bat in this game. And I know you could make the argument it's already a 5-run game, but the difference between a 5-run game and a 6 and a 7 and an 8 and a 9, it's just that much more insurance as you move through the game.
I mean, you can never be comfortable. And, you know, look at last night. 8-4 ball game, the Indiana Panthers. Everyone was getting ready to go home, including us here on the broadcast, and including Seth Berquist, who joined us. But that game turned around not quickly. It was a slow burner in order to walk that game off for the Oilmen, but they put up 5 runs in the bottom of the 10th, and you never know when that can have it to you.
And yeah, the Panthers just walked a little too close to the edge of the cliff, and the rocks kept falling from under their feet. It all slipped away from them. So 1-1 count to Thaxton. Fausto's delivery low, but a nice block by Brenna, who requests a new ball.
Do you think he gets $1 if he turns a ball in?
I would hope not.
Unless it was a foul ball. Rules and conditions do apply for that.
That pitch not in the right spot. It'll be 3-1. Pitch misses low, and it's a freebie for the Oilmen. Fausto walks the runner, and it is 6-0 Oilmen as the bases stay loaded.
You know, if I'm the Oilmen at this point, if I'm every batter on deck, and if I'm stepping up into the batter's box here, the bat's not leaving my shoulder. Obviously, you got a guy who just came into the game, feeling the moment, no need to put one into play and risk this run total you're putting up on the board.
That's a close first pitch right there, but it'll be a ball. And another ball for Fausto.
So a 2-0 count. Peyton Fausto's breaking ball able to locate there for strike one.
As we slowly approach the 2-hour mark of this broadcast, going back to something we talked about earlier, and that is the weather. It has dropped to 65 degrees, feels like 65, 5-mile-per-hour wind, 8-mile-per-hour gust coming out of the northeast. Humidity 69%, visibility 15 miles. And don't need to worry about sunset anymore, but sunrise at 5:15.
That is a fly ball over to second, handled by Engel. So 3 outs, able to be found by the Vikings, but not before the Oilmen tack on 2 more. 6-0. The score when we return, top of the 6th inning, here from Oil City Stadium.
There's a shortage of roofers across the country. Here at Roofers Local 26, our signatory contractors are in need of a well-trained workforce, and it's our job to provide that workforce. We are looking for people that are self-motivated, people that are reliable, people that are willing to give a hard day's work. In return, they get a good paycheck with good benefits. This is not a job, this is a career. If you're willing to put the time and dedication in, we're willing to provide you the tools and training necessary for you to succeed in the roofing industry. We've been doing this for almost 100 years. We know how to get the job done.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the house who always wins, and the dealer holding all the cards tonight is R.J. Berggren. He has been undeniably fantastic on the bump, and he's going to be given a chance here to roll out in the 6th.
Once again, Charlie, we're putting that one on the seamless transition board, and it's been really good here. Obviously, we have our own little awards here at Oil City, and we were already alluding to that during the break because Berggren has put up an absolute excellent stat line here today.
Yeah, 5 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. All that while giving up no runs.
So got to maintain it here. He would love to keep the shutout. Right, wants to keep it at 0. 1 hit on the day, and that was kind of just a good battle from the Vikings to finally get that one. But looking to close out this game here. Now, obviously, a little bit left of baseball to play here in the top of the 6th, so we'll see what happens.
Berggren lefty misses outside.
And there is some movement going to the bullpen over there for the Oilmen.
Yeah, looks like Cole Deerdorf, guy we expected to go in and throw, will be going down to the pen and start to get loose.
And they enter.
Pitch misses high. And that is 3 consecutive balls coming from Berggren.
Hey, Griffin, how many pitches is he at?
That was his 83rd pitch. You're about to see his 84th.
Wow.
He's up there today.
Those numbers and that pitch count, pretty impressive at this point, and that's probably why he's still out here in the 6th inning, as he does issue his 3rd free pass of the game.
And
now one aboard.
To help people understand what you're saying is, 84 pitches. There's going to be Zuckel's going to go out there and talk to him for a little bit, maybe just trying to buy time for the bullpen. But 9 strikeouts on 1 hit. You would see those kind of numbers after pitching maybe in the 90 or 100 mark at some points. But if you're at mid-80s and you've got 9 strikeouts, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Berger's doing a great job right now. 9 strikeouts. casting off 84 pitches. Only five innings thrown too.
At that point, Zunkel probably just going out there to let him know that, hey, you're almost done here for the night, so we can just whatever we can out of you. Like you did good. Like he did his job tonight. There's not much else you have to prove. So RJ's just trying to park the car in the garage, and gonna let someone else close the garage door.
Selwyn is in there for strike two, and you know, when you've been given the keys and you're driving the car, you just you know, want to make sure it doesn't roll off the cliff in your 80s style home.
Is that a Ferris Bueller reference?
Swing and a miss there for strike three. RJ Berggren picks up his 10th strikeout of this game. Wow. 19 strikeouts in 2 starts from this guy. That is exceptional.
And him and Thomas Haggerty. Now, Haggerty didn't have a particularly great game compared to what his first outing for the Oilmen. I'll put that disclaimer there, but him and Haggerty are just a phenomenal 1-2 punch that the Oilmen have in their pitching rotation.
And it's definitely going to be interesting to see who else will step up for this Oilman squad. As Rainey takes a hack and misses. Now down 0-2 in the count.
Ever since Zunkel went out there and talked to RJ for a second, he's just been a man possessed.
That one floated out into right center on his horse, sliding, and play able to be made by Ryan Henschel. Actually, I believe that is a defensive substitution out in center field, trying to grab the number 23, who is Bryce Nevels. The Western Kentucky product makes an excellent play out in center.
I talk about this all the time. Large area you got to cover here in the outfield.
That one was cracked, but Isaiah White somehow finds his way underneath of it for the final out of the top of the 6th inning. And as we head into bottom 6, look forward to seeing you back here on the Oilman Sports Network.
Tastes great. Let's fill it. Tastes great. Let's fill it. Tastes great. It is both. It is both. It is both. It is both. It's both.
Hey, thanks for the backup.
Wait! Let me help. Lando Frost. Premium meat. Delicious. And no byproducts.
Toss it in.
Et moi?
Okay.
Whee!
Make the smart choice. Lando Frost Premium Meat.
Back here on the Oilman, look at that shot, Charlie. Look at that shot.
And I wonder who that is.
Absolutely incredible. But welcome back here on the Oilman Sports Network. John Masday, Charlie Schmidwell, and Griffin Winicky. We thank you for joining us here tonight from the Brick House here at Oil City. I think are we all good on the name Brick House?
Good luck, Big Bad Wolf.
Yeah, exactly. Need a lot of air in those lungs to blow this house over. And so far tonight, with the amount of speed, velocity, and Ks on the board, RJ Berggren has done his best attempt to blow this brick house down.
Yes, he has, and he's one of those guys that just has such good stuff when it's on, and all 4 pitches have been working for him today, and he's got the ball on a string. And I don't know if you know this or not, but so he pitched 6 today, and he pitched 5 in the game before. It's 11 innings of 2-hit baseball. Is that good? I think that's good.
You know what? I might have to check the book, but I think that's good.
We have 2 substitutions in the field for the Vikings. Playing shortstop is number 12, Andrew Jimenez. And playing center field will be number 2, Chris Webb. Or playing center field over Anders Allred should be Chris Webb.
Don't call a timeout.
Yet, do not call a timeout.
Webb like spider web, not Weber like a fantastic barbecue grill.
I heard the name.
As Johnny Wendling gets ready to go out there.
Good walk-up song.
Okay, I guess that poses the question.
What's our
Gentlemen,
walk-up songs?
What would your walk-up song be? What song should I play when I see you walking into the booth?
Renegade by Styx.
Okay. I'm gonna stick around the same. I was gonna do. Sorry, why can't I think of the name?
And not the start of Renegade by Styx, where it's like, oh mama. No, I'm talking about the part of Styx where it's like, the gig is out now. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Mine would be "Kickstart My Heart" by Motley Crue.
That. That's a great one. That song is actually the theme song to my life. Nice. I will talk more about that at break. That's not a thing you talk about on the air.
I got to tell you, I'm going to keep it in that same kind of realm. I think I'm going to do Mississippi Queen by Mountain.
Okay. I like
good
that song.
guitar solo on Mississippi Queen.
Oh, great guitar. It makes me feel like I'm driving a 1985 Corvette, with the T-top off.
There you go.
And I've got, the big hair and the sunglasses.
Yeah.
Classy.
So just kind of how you look now, but without sunglasses.
Okay.
Yeah, my sunglasses are in the car.
There you go. Yeah, you have it ready, so you can reenact that moment. If I had to go, for different genres, if I'm trying to think if I had to do like rap.
Oh, lots of good options.
I get clowned for this. I'm a big Logic fan.
I like Logic. I think he's got some good tracks.
Yeah. Pretty much anything off the Incredible True Story album, that's a great walk-up song.
I think if we were to do in terms of rap, I would do Mr. Glock by Key Glock.
There you go.
I think it's a good song.
Ooh.
There you go. I love that song.
Oh, boy. I'd probably do something by Mac Miller. He's one of my favorite rap artists.
Also, Lil Uzi Vert. I think he's got some good stuff that can definitely be used.
Ooh, I'd actually like to change mine for rap. I would do "Ya" by Soulja Boy.
There you go.
Okay.
That one floated into the infield, and with a man aboard, it should be an infield fly. Oh, no, it's not because it's in foul ground.
Too much butter on the popcorn during the break. That one slips in and out.
Well, sorry for calling infield fly when it wasn't, folks.
That is Charlie's fault, folks.
Point the finger at me. Hands up.
Yep. Trying to think if I had to do country music. I'm a big 90s country fan, especially this time of year.
I don't listen to enough country to pick out a song.
That's fair.
I'd say Chicken Fried.
Yeah, good
Ooh.
song. Really good song. Zach Brown Band, very good.
Ooh, new song, "Ain't No Love in Oklahoma" by Luke Combs.
Great
that's
song.
made for being a walk-up song.
That was probably the theme song for the Oklahoma softball team, and they absolutely demolished Texas once again. Because 4 straight championships, there is no love in Oklahoma for your enemies. That is a good song, though. There's a new genre kind of coming back of like country rock.
Yeah.
I was laughing with Hayden earlier. I said he looks like Hardy, but Hardy's kind of trying to bring that back, that country
100%.
rock. And "Ain't No Love in Oklahoma" is definitely one of those songs.
I think it might be in that same genre too. Keith Anderson's "Pickin' Wildflowers" I think it'd be a good
That's
one.
pretty good. Jelly Roll's definitely kind of in that category as well.
Almost more rap.
Yeah, maybe he's got a couple songs that cross genres.
He has a rapping past, though, I'm pretty sure.
It's called Prison. Lainey Wilson kind of has some rockish music.
Mm-hmm.
I like her a lot. I think she's doing really good. Morgan Wallen, he's just kind of just like an alternative pop artist that wears blue jeans and calls himself country. He makes good music, but you can't call it country music. You do, in fact, have to watch out for Parsons.
Hit over to third, throw across the diamond, not near in time, and that's going to be an infield single for Emmanuel Scott. Because even if that throw was perfect, I don't think it was beating him there.
It's still an excellent play at third base, because if he doesn't make that grab, that runner goes to third, and potentially Scott goes into second. So that play there, if anything, just keeps the runners where they're at and maintains the force out over there at third with no outs.
As Noah Caceres steps in, I did think of another one I might want to use. Eminem and Akon, "Smack That." I think it's very fitting when you're going up to hit.
There you go.
Pitch misses low, and runners will advance to second and third. So a couple of ducks on the pond now with no one out here in the bottom of the sixth.
I'm just trying to think of a 90s country song. I mean, anything by Toby Keith is pretty good.
Oh, perfect.
I mean, I like George Strait a lot, but I don't know if he has anything that could qualify as a walk-up song. Fireman's pretty good, Hayden just said. I mean, Here for a Good Time, I mean, maybe he used the chorus.
Trying to look through Spotify.
I like the song Designated Drinker with him and Alan Jackson.
Oh, great song.
Alan Jackson, another great country artist.
That one hit hard and foul. Brad Paisley, a favorite country artist of mine. I'm Gonna Miss Her is one of my favorite songs, maybe ever. Chris Stapleton, a great country artist.
Yeah, he's...
Ooh, Midnight Train to Memphis.
Yeah, good song.
That one is in there for strike three looking. Noah Caceres left standing alone there as Fausto gets his first strikeout. And it's going to be number 13 coming to hit Zamarion Hatcher.
Big Z's already had a couple of big hits this season. He'd like to add one to his portfolio. That one walks down the line, keeps the runner at third. You're going to see center field shift over about 10 feet from dead center, so covering right field a little bit more. We've mentioned already before that a lot of space to cover in right center field. 403 to dead center and 330 down the right field line. Compare that to left field where it's only 300, but you got to deal with the brick monster over there. Checks this. I'm hoping that's on the pitch.
I think that was on the pitch.
He was calling that on the pitch, yeah.
So that is in there for a strike. And just as a reminder, folks, as it pertains to the run rule, there is not a run rule here in this park. Coaches can meet and decide to end a game, but at this point, that is a distant thought. Just addressing the text I got from my mom of, do they have a 10-run rule in this league?
Hello, Mrs. Schminko. Hope you're having a good evening.
I hope so, too.
Yeah, but I said it first.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. As Zamarion Hatcher awaiting the offering and just not quite in there. Fausto, a little trouble with the location, and now 2-2 to count. Bases aren't fully loaded. No one over at first, but two in scoring position.
Good crowd here in attendance tonight at Oil City. Hoping for a bigger turnout tomorrow for Bobblehead Day. We talked about it once again. Fans in attendance will receive a Oilman Stand bobblehead tomorrow. Tonight's game at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow's game at 7 o'clock, excuse me. So make sure you clear your schedules, clear your calendars, and come on down to Oil City.
Be the end of this home stretch. So that one is hit hard, but a little too early on it. Foul ball.
He's getting some good looks here.
And he's hitting it hard.
He's a little too... He says a little too early. Sending him too far down the first base line. Early again. He's seeing the ball really well. His timing is just off.
And I think they're trying to throw inside on him. And he's just trying to combat it by being early, but yeah, just a little too early. So Peyton Fausto, the right-hander, comes set.
Also chokes up on the bat about a Nubsworth. Another foul ball there late that time.
Lots of opportunities for fans to make it or to earn $1. Some
rich folks here at Oil City tonight, that's for sure.
This will be the 9th pitch of this at-bat.
It's not even a full count.
No, it's not. If anything, I almost feel like he should take about a half step back in the box.
Delivery is ripped high and deep into right, trending over, and it'll fall foul. Stays within the yard, but a foul ball.
You know, Pete Rose, famous casino enjoyer, he always said, you know, never change your swing or your timing, but just change your positioning. Either take a step forward, take a step back, closer to the plate, further from the plate, or choke up or choke down on the bat. Never change your swing. So I feel like Z's got to do one of those adjustments here. He's got really good timing and really good mechanics. Just needs to find the right spot for it. He does there.
Beautiful rip into center. One will score. Scott Rounding, easy 2-run single from Zamarion Hatcher, and it's an 8-0 ball game for the Oilmen.
And you were really hoping that Z was finally going to be able to break through there. Griffin's going to be able to tell us the exact pitch amount on that at-bat, but it was a long one for sure. One of the longest of the nights, and most of them were just foul balls. Z really wanted to get a piece of that one. He saw the ball out of the hand perfectly, just couldn't find it, and eventually he does. 8-0 Oilmen.
Yeah, that was a 10-pitch at-bat right there. As we were seeing 8-0 right here. Vikings need to figure something out in the next couple 3 innings. First, they got to get out of this one.
One step at a time. 1 foot in front of the other. That's what Santa Claus said in that one movie from like the 50s. Or 60s. I don't know when that movie came out, but you know what I'm talking about.
What movie is that?
The Santa, where he's like, just put 1 foot in front of the other. It's a claymation movie. Yeah, I just don't know what.
Oh.
There was like that era where like all of the like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, that claymation style.
Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, that one. The one with Heat Miser and the Far Superior
Snow
Miser.
Yes.
Snow Miser Gang Rise Up.
Oh, what's that movie?
I just can't think of the name of these movies. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I know the songs from them too.
Look it up. I'm gonna get us an answer here.
Everything melts in my clutch. I'm too much. Let other people say that about you, man. Don't try to say your own legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. So The Year Without a Santa Claus is what it's called.
Oh. Oh, and Nightmare Before Christmas. That same kind of style.
That's another.
That one is absolutely cracked, going into left off the base of the wall, and that's going to be extra bases. Buck digging in for 2. Oh, and the ball hits off of perhaps the rear end of Zamarion, but runners will now be at second and third. And it looks like it's going to be Ian Farrell coming in now as a pinch hitter.
This is, you know what? This is a good country walk-up song. Welcome to the Show by Cody Johnson. Another good one. No, we were talking about that yesterday. Sorry to cut you off there, Charlie.
No, you weren't cutting me off. I was going to say it's just yesterday we had talked about how a lot of guys had used it, and I actually followed the lineage of it for the White Sox. Zach Collins, I remember using it, and then eventually once Collins left, Vaughn took it, and then Vaughn wasn't hitting, so Vaughn changed it.
I'm surprised he's, you know, you mentioned to me yesterday, you showed me during the broadcast, and I broke down in tears that Luis Robert was being shopped by the White Sox, which I wasn't surprised by. I was surprised that Andrew Vaughn hasn't been shopped yet, because not that long ago when Rick Hahn was the general manager, there wasn't a single team in the league that didn't want Andrew Vaughn. He was one of those guys that everybody wanted on their team. And now, I don't know if that's the same
It's
truth.
not. It's not quite. He's a little bit farther behind Spencer Torkelson, but it's one of those moments where you might have brought him up too early. And you're trying to spend a little too much time to fix him as that one's fouled off.
I don't know.
Right off the metal.
I don't know if you brought him up too early. I think he was brought up at the right time. I think the biggest problem was is you also brought up Gavin Sheets, and so you essentially had 2 guys doing the exact same thing on your lineup. And can't have that, unfortunately. There was too much redundancy in the White Sox lineup for a while.
Sets him up to be a platoon man with a righty and a lefty, and that's not what you want a franchise first baseman to be. That one hit hard in pass. The glove of Rainey, one will score, and it is an RBI single for Ian Farrell.
Oh.
And also Gavin Sheets on that note and walk-up song note. His walk-up song is Thief by OK, with an excellent saxophone solo in it. Great walk-up song.
9-0 now here. Griffin, do you guys have anybody else in the bullpen or potentially on the bench who can come in and maybe take a couple innings here?
I don't know. It's tough to tell. The most available guy in the pen would have to be Caden Coombsy. Coombsy did give up a walk-off against the Indiana Panthers. I do not think we'll see Trey Pitcock just because we've seen him in shorts all day, and he did pitch on Monday. So if not Fausto, then maybe Coombsy.
Pitcock is literally holding a football in the dugout right now and was at one point the first base coach for the team. So
He's warming up. Hey, he's warming up.
There is little thoughts around it. He may not be playing today as he is tossing football in the dugout.
Hey, you got to do a Mark Burley number and get him in there.
Hard hit ball into the gap, and that's going to be an RBI single for Isaiah White. And it is now a 10-0 ball game in favor of the Oilmen.
This was a really competitive ball game for the first third of this game. Only 1-0 through 3. And the Vikings have really let this game go. Now the middle third, 3, 2, and then 4 here in the 6th inning. And there's still a lot of baseball left to play. Mike Jones is loving it.
Yes, he is. Take on the low ball. So it looks like number 20 is entering this game.
There's going to be a rundown now. Got him. Warner will advance over to second, but another great throw from the catcher to try and catch someone in the act, and finally he does this time.
So 20, Quinn Flanagan steps back in, still getting familiar with some of the guys. Flanagan, one of the guys that just showed up yesterday. And now with 2 down and a runner at second base. That pickoff, not exactly what the Oilmen were looking for, but when you do have a 10-run advantage, you can be a little more tolerant of things like that. Really nice pick on that ball behind the plate. And Damon Brenna has been very impressive behind the dish.
Yeah, no, Brenna has only been here for a few games, and he's not automatically the starting catcher. There have been a few guys playing, but Brenna's probably been one of the better guys out there for sure. As we've seen so far throughout this game, his pop time and his arm has been good. I feel like I sound like a broken record just talking about it, but I really do want to shine upon how good Damon Brenna's catching skills are.
Hey, credit's where credit's due. You have not said hitters count once tonight.
I have not. I don't know if that would change the outcome of the game as we face a 10-0 deficit. As Bryce Nevels comes up to bat.
But the Oilmen in double digits once again here this season.
So for Neville stepping in, a Hilltopper at Western Kentucky. We were talking about mascots, and you had mentioned you'd never seen the Western Kentucky mascot.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday, and you never showed me.
I'm pulling him up right now
there
because Big Red is his name.
Yeah, it is Big Red,
and he is alarming.
Wow, that's. Look
at him,
what's
right?
Is Grimace the purple guy from
yeah.
McDonald's?
Yeah.
That's like Grimace's cousin.
But his whole head is his mouth. It's.
Let me tell you something. If I ever see White Castle, I also look the exact same.
if you offer me the barbecue chicken rings,
if I see a couple White Castle sliders, extra pickle, I look the exact same way.
Oh man, and The thing for me is the head and the main part of the body are so big, but the legs are tiny, as that one is hit out to left field, and underneath of it is Bendis. So a little bit of tumultuous inning from Fausto, and it is 10-0 for the Oilmen going into the top of the 7th inning. When we return, more Oilmen baseball.
Safety doesn't come in a box. It's not a banner that goes on a wall. It's not something you do now and then, or when it's convenient. It's using state-of-the-art simulators to better prepare for any situation. It's giving offshore teams onshore support, and it's empowering anyone to stop a job if something doesn't seem right. At BP, safety is never being satisfied and always working to be better.
Who is the IBEW? We're the people who bring the power to your home, the ones who make sure your phone calls and internet keep speeding along. We build things like schools and hospitals. We bring the biggest shows and sporting events to the world, keep America's railroads on the right track, help cities, states, and the federal government work for you. And we proudly build products made in the USA. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, the IBEW.
Welcome back, folks. When you need energy, you go to the pen, and that's what the Oilmen are doing with Cole Deerdorf. When you need energy for your home, look to Whiting BP, an energy company with purpose, one that is trusted by society, valued by shareholders, and motivating for everyone who works at BP, and a proud sponsor of the Northwest Indiana Oilmen out over that right field wall. As we prepare for Deerdorf going out on the mound, the transfer from Missouri, from a community college moving into Trinity Christian College, was actually talking with him about his pitching days at Counts, the town I actually, when I was born, I was brought home to Counts, moved to Washington Township, and I told him I went to Washington. He said, "Oh, we hated you guys." And I said, "Well, the feeling was mutual, you know, because he was a great player. Him and Owen Winters both were spectacular players over there, and commiserating over how his stuff has taken him to this point."
Yeah, it's been really good so far this season. And we're going to close things out here. A lot of breathing room here in this game, 10-0. At this point, some people would say you're kind of going through the motions.
Deerdorf's delivery in there for strike one. Pitch misses low. Deerdorf 6'1", 215. His favorite player is Trevor Bauer. And he brings a 4-pitch mix, fastball, curveball, slider, and the changeup from time to time, as that's in there for strike two.
Do a quick update from our respective teams. White Sox versus the Red Sox. Currently the middle of the 8th. The White Sox lead 6-2 against their Red brothers.
Sox teams.
I feel like the Red Sox are maybe the most average team in the MLB. I think
that's a good way of describing them.
I mean, they've hit, as Bendis strikes out right there, Chris Webb coming up. I want to say the Red Sox, I saw something online, and I think Charlie's seen the same thing. They were the first team to go 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, 4-4, so on, and I think it reaches to like 29-29, like 30-30.
If you go over their last stretch of however many games it is this year, it will always result in 500 going into yesterday.
That is quite literally the definition of average.
It's just average, yeah.
Mid.
I would I'd give anything to be average right now.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what average does? Average keeps you in striking distance of the playoffs come All-Star break.
Yeah, but the AL East is a tough division.
Let's look at
well, and the other thing is, with the White Sox not wanting to be terrible, you know, normally you get a top-tier draft pick, but due to the new anti-tanking rules, the White Sox will not be able to have a top pick. They'll still have a high pick, but not going to be in that top 3. Which they could use a top 3 talent right about now.
Yeah, currently looking at the MLB standings, look at the American League. The Red Sox in third. They're 32-31. The Yankees in first at a 45-19 record. The Orioles are 4 games back from that. Red Sox 12.5 back from that. And this is kind of the reason, Cubs fans for a while there were really on cloud 9, and they had a right to be. I will definitely say so. And recently, Cubs fans have kind of not been feeling that. And I'll say this. I don't think Cubs are winning the division, so they're not getting the playoffs that way. And then you got to deal with the NL West, and you got to fight with their records for a wild card spot. And then you got to fight with the National League East and fight with them for wild card spots. And it gets significantly more difficult when you look at the teams who are battling for wild card positions.
The East is terrifying.
Yeah.
Both Easts are extremely good. A division that's a lot more open than you've been used to seeing it is the AL West this year. Everyone kind of expected the Astros would be the Astros, but they just haven't really separated themselves in the same way that they usually do, currently sitting in third.
The National League East and the American League East currently hold the 2 best records in baseball. The Phillies at 44-19, the Yankees 45-19. I think a lot of people would have told you that the National League West would have been the best division in baseball this year, and both leagues' Easts are having something to say about that.
Big swing and a miss there. And yeah, I mean, the Braves and the Phillies are both phenomenal in the East. Out West, the reason why the West records are hard, though, is you're playing against the best competition as well. 1-2 swing and a miss. And not going to have a chance for a drop third because the base was occupied, but the runner can advance, so it'll be 2 down, second strikeout of the inning for Deerdorf. Keep the train moving along.
Talking more about that, the NL West is, you have the Diamondbacks who went to the World Series last year. You have the Dodgers who continue to just add pieces like Teoscar
and continuously
Hernandez
just fail in the playoffs. Let's add that piece in there as well.
That brings me to my other part. They don't seem to. The players in the NL West you expect to kind of jump out, kind of had like Dodgers playoff struggles. Wow, considering the teams they've got, the players they've had, and won World Series to show for it. People are calling that the Mickey Mouse ring.
Yeah, I completely understand it, and I'm on both sides of that argument, which I guess means I'm not on any side of that argument. But every team did play 60 games. It's not like the Dodgers played 60 and everyone else played 120.
It was just the way the league was.
It's just the way the league was at the time, and so it's just really. I don't think we should put an asterisk next to it, but I also think we should understand it in context.
Ooh, that one a little dangerously close to the ear hole, and I am required to say that season is very important because Jose Abreu won the MVP.
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely. Deservingly, I mean he was deserving. That was great. That season was perfect for a player like him because it's no secret that Latin American players don't play well in April, especially if they're in Chicago because it's freezing literally every day of their lives. But then you get to June and July when it's 90% humidity and 110 degrees outside. That's exactly how it feels
like home.
Yeah, it feels like home, so they definitely turn on. And so you look at the COVID season that's when it started, and Jose Abreu got to come out of the bat like he plays at home. Yeah, it was great for him.
And Jose Abreu, one of the many Cuban players that have gone through the White Sox system, miss outside, 3-2. I think perhaps most notably, Vinny Minoso.
The Cuban Missile, as it's called. I know that is Chapman's nickname now, but
everyone gets Cuban Missile.
Minoso was the original Cuban Missile.
Folks, I think we've reached a new low in this game. Let's on a walk.
When are we repeating that? I'm at a loss for words on the bat flip walk.
Down by 10 too, which it's a close game. You might get to do that, but maybe not here. Looking back. Look at the American. We spent a little bit of time on the National League. Look at the American League. The AL East is definitely the best division in the league. The Blue Jays, who are at the bottom, are only 30 and 32. They're 14 games back. I think last year when you got to about, I'd say probably the All-Star break, I remember the AL East, every team was above 500.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, no, and they're on track to do that again.
And the thing that's terrible if you're one of those teams in the league is, the Blue Jays have a nice young core. They've invested some money. Red Sox have invested some money. But it doesn't matter.
No.
And that's the worst position to be in. And that's kind of the position the Giants have found themselves in. They know that they can't beat the Dodgers. I mean, the year that they won 100 and some games, they didn't even make it to the NLCS.
Yeah.
So that's a big swing and a miss. Third punch out of the inning for Deerdorf. And he hangs another 0. And as we go to the bottom of the 7th, I think we will not go to the bottom of the 7th. Had a feeling the two sides will agree to call this game 10-0 in favor of the Oilmen. And what a game this wound up being. Oilmen put it together. Again, this was a 1-0 game going into the 4th inning and just took off from there.
When we come back, we will do our Oilmen post-game and also give you the White Castle player of the game. So don't go anywhere, folks. We still have a little bit more to talk about with you here.
Right, Candace. We're getting multiple reports of this mysterious but powerful phenomena. People are experiencing a sound, after which they drop everything, and I mean everything, and run to their nearest White Castle. Now, we are urging folks to stay calm. There's no evidence that this...
Richard, we're live.
When the crave calls,
Richard, we're live.
Go to White Castle for the $5 bacon bundle with 2 bacon sliders and a small fry. White Castle. Follow your crave.
Once again, do not walk, run to your nearest White Castle, a proud sponsor of the Northwest Indiana Oilmen. This summer, follow your crave to the nearest White Castle to try the new smoky barbecue chicken rings. Get 12 rings for only $3.99. Gentlemen, it was a close game for the first third of baseball, as I discussed earlier, and it really looked like the Hammond Vikings, Griffin, really turned things around from their last time against the Oilmen, and then you got to the middle section of this game and kind of broke apart there.
Yeah, it broke apart in terms of the plate discipline. A lot of strikeouts. Bergeron was dealing, though. I will give him credit where credit is due. Some of the Vikings, they do have the weekend off, come back on Monday against the Generals. Something to turn around while the weekend hits, hopefully.
And speaking of Bergeron, Charlie, why don't you go ahead and tell us our White Castle player of the game? And I think this one's obvious.
Ladies and gentlemen, back to 2 starts, 2 player of the game awards for R.J. Bergeron. What a phenomenal game this guy wound up having. You take a look at that stat line. It's undeniable. 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, 3 walks, 10 strikeouts. And Griffin, I don't want to make you have to recall the performance he had, but even you had to acknowledge dominating performance from Bergeron.
Yeah, he had a lot of strikeouts early on, as I said before. He was dealing tonight, and that was for sure. A lot of mixes in his pitches. Doing a great job.
R.J. Bergeron, our White Castle player of the game. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. First pitch at 7:10. Our broadcast starts at 7 o'clock as the Oilmen take on the Indiana Panthers once again. Seth Berquist will be joining us in the booth for that one. But, gentlemen, as always, a pleasure working with you. Griffin, thank you for coming out here and joining our broadcast. We love to have you on, especially when the White Sox are beating the Red Sox. That's when we really love to have you on. But, folks, tomorrow, make sure you come to Oil City for bobblehead night. Everyone in attendance will get a Oil Man Stand bobblehead. First pitch at 7:10. Make sure you tune in. From Griffin Winicky, Charlie Schmidgall, and myself, John Mastay. Have a good night, folks. I know it's Friday night. Whatever you do, make good decisions, and please drive responsibly.